You don't deserve a guy that doesn't let you know where you stand. You don't deserve a guy that brings confusion into your life and makes you feel as though, oh my gosh, does he want me, does he not? You don't deserve a guy that continually steps out on you and you keep forgiving him because you're in love with him. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm lakeishaa, and if you're not new, welcome back. Today we're going to be getting into a topic about knowing your self-worth and setting boundaries in relationships, friendships, and not feeling guilty about them. But without further ado, let's just get into the video. Where are you? When you've established certain standards from the get-go, then when a guy comes, it's easier for you to vet them and see if they're really for you, because you have certain standards that you have to meet and you have certain things that you are not willing to negotiate on. Like when a guy comes into your life and he's so quickly trying to get into your pants, that's like the #1 red flag, because why are you trying to know me physically before you know me mentally and emotionally? A guy that's really interested in you will take his time with you. He will go at your speed and won't try and press you into things that you don't want to do. A guy that comes into your life and the first thing he's trying to do is get into your pants and say that, oh, I don't do this and that for a girl that I ain't been with, then that's ultimately letting you know that he doesn't see your worth from the get-go. And a lot of women get pressured into just doing things with a guy because they say, oh, well, if we're at this certain stage, then why should we wait any longer? Or they try and put you on their timeline rather than on your timeline. A man is meant to pursue a woman. Ultimately, it's just the way nature made it happen, especially when it comes to the Bible. Men pursue women. Then if you're going to pursue a woman, then it should be okay for us to go on my own time frame. I shouldn't have to feel pressured into doing things your way. I shouldn't have to feel pressured into doing what you're used to girls doing for you. But instead, when you meet me, you've met a new experience and we're going to do things in a certain way that is comfortable to me. You shouldn't allow a guy to press you into sexual things. You shouldn't allow a guy to make you feel as though your standards are too much or you're not worth your standards. You have to have standards in place. The standards you need to have in place are personal to you. I know for myself, if I meet a guy, there's not going to be any sexual stuff going on, and if you can't accept that, then I will happily move along. He can be my complete type on paper, but that's one thing I'm not negotiating on. I've decided for personal reasons to wait until marriage. That's just me, and I know that a lot of men are not into that, and I'm completely fine with that. But I also know that a guy that's going to come into my life that is for me will be okay with that, and he will also be on that journey of purity, of saving himself. A second thing that I am completely non-negotiable on is a man has to pursue me. If you're really trying to pursue me, then you should be trying to get my attention. You should be trying to find out things about me. What do I like? What am I really into? You should be trying to be a part of my life. It shouldn't be a one-way thing where I'm chasing you down and trying to get you to do certain things and trying to get you to pay attention to me or trying to get you to take me out. It should be a thing where it's easy. You're pursuing me and we're enjoying our time together, and it doesn't feel as though you're not really interested or I'm getting mixed messages. If a guy is giving you mixed messages and it's not clear, then that's like a red flag that he's not entirely interested in me or he's not entirely sure what he wants at this moment, and that's fine. But that means I'm gonna have to step away until you know what you want. A man that comes into your life, he has to have clear intentions. He has to make it clear exactly what he wants for you, what he wants in the future for himself, and what he's looking to gain with you. Because if a guy comes into your life and he's saying, we're just going to see how it goes, I'm sorry babe, but the way I'm set up, I don't accept that. Just because a guy's said that he's interested in you, it doesn't mean that he's ready to be serious. So in the beginning, you need to establish, what are you looking for when you pursue me? Don't be afraid to ask these questions. A lot of women are afraid to ask men, what are we? What do you want to gain? Because you're scared of the answer. That's happened to me so much times. When I'm dating a guy, I'm always scared to ask, what do you want with me? What do you see in our future? Are you looking to become serious? I'm scared to ask the question because deep down I know the answer. I know that he doesn't want to be serious. If he did, he would have already made his intention clear. And because I like him, I don't want to make that question be the reason why we now stop talking. So I just keep going along and just hoping that maybe he'll make his intentions clear, knowing that he won't. And I just want to encourage you, if you're in a situation where a guy is not making his intentions clear and you know deep down that he is not looking to be serious, then and you are looking to be serious, then it's important for you to leave that situation for your own mental health, because no guy should come in your life and come with confusion. Confusion is not from God. Confusion is from the devil. So if a guy's come into your life and he's now making you confused as to how he feels about you, that's a sign that he is not for you. Maybe in that moment, maybe he needs more time. You need to be showing yourself a certain type of love that he can see from the way you treat yourself, that okay, this woman likes nice things, this woman likes to take care of herself, this woman is very conscious of how she appears, and that will show him what type of woman you are. Because if you're not showing him a type of woman, then he will not know how to treat you, because a guy will treat you based off of how you treat yourself and how you allow him to treat you. If you're allowing him to take you on little shabby dates just because you like him, then I'm sorry babe, he's going to continue to do that. But if you're letting him know, like, listen, I'm not used to going to these type of places, or I'm not used to doing these type of things, like this is not what I'm into, I like this style of dating, or I like this, you need to make it clear. If you like him, then let your intentions be clear, let your standards be clear, because maybe in the beginning he just may be used to something else, but you've got to make it clear. Don't just go along with how a guy's treating you just because you like him, or you're just so happy that someone finally wants you. Okay, it's nice that someone wants you, but you need to make sure someone wants you for the right reasons, not just to fill his spare time. We need to stop accepting men into our lives just because we want to feel wanted, just because it's been so long and we're so lonely, and oh well, he's giving me attention, and maybe he's not everything that I want, but he is some of what I want. Like, no, you need to be realistic. Will this last? Am I happy the way I'm being treated? Am I feeling fulfilled in this area of my life? Because a lot of men are going to come into your life and they're not all going to be for you. But if you keep accepting them, you're hindering the one that's for you from coming. Because if your bottle is already full, then more cannot be added in, okay? If all your time is already occupied with this guy who's not for you, then the one who is for you can't come into your life. God will not give you things if your life is already too full. As a woman, you need to know what type of guy you want. You need to know firstly what type of woman you are, and then you need to know what type of guy will compliment you. Because I know for some women, you may want a guy that's ambitious, but you may not want a guy that's too ambitious that he loses sight of you or other things. You may want a guy that's very family orientated. You may want a guy that's very intelligent. You may want a guy that's creative or in a creative field. You may have your own type of guy that compliments you because you know that you're driven, and you also want a guy that's driven. Or you may want a guy that's very creative because you're also creative. Or you may want a guy that has a very extroverted personality because you're more introverted, and you think you'll complement each other. You need to make sure that the guy you're accepting into your life, into your space, compliments you and your life, rather than you just complimenting him. You need to make sure you work together. You need to make sure that you can see a future with him that is happy, okay? You don't want to just accept a guy into your life just because you're lonely, just because you're sad, just because it's been a long time. A man that comes into your life needs to make sure that he is complimenting you and he makes you feel good. And I just want to let you know that if a guy's pressuring you into doing certain things that you're not ready for, it's okay to say no, and you should not feel guilty, even if they make you feel bad for setting certain standards. Like, guys always say, oh, like some guys say you should pay 50-50 on a date, or I personally believe that a guy should always pay fully for the full date, and I'm never going to compromise on that. Like, I don't care if people think, oh, what? No, you should do halves. I don't think you should do halves, and I'm not going to fake reach for my purse either on a date just to show you that I can pay. If you took me out on a date, then you should be paying. I've got certain standards where I expect guys to have certain things. I expect guys to have a stable job, to have certain things about them before I would consider dating them. And a lot of guys say, oh, but you never know. No, I'm not compromising. I'm really not compromising. That's my standard, and I am not accepting anything less. And I understand that superficial standards, sometimes you do have to compromise, because you may want a 6'5" guy but you fall in love with a 5'8" guy. That's something I can work with. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Looks aren't everything, but when it comes to certain things that a guy should have, you shouldn't compromise on your own standards and your own expectations, because that's when you start compromising yourself. Once you realize your self-worth and who you are in Christ, and as an individual, you understand what you are worth, what you deserve. You know, you don't deserve a guy that's wishy-washy. You don't deserve a guy that doesn't let you know where you stand. You don't deserve a guy that brings confusion into your life and makes you feel as though, oh my gosh, does he want me, does he not? You don't deserve a guy that continually steps out on you and you keep forgiving him because you're in love with him. Love isn't everything when a guy's treating you badly. It may just be a soul tie, hon. You are a lady who deserves the best. You are a lady who deserves a man to pursue her, a man to make his intentions clear. You've got to know that before you start dating. Because the guy that comes into your life may not see you as you really are. He may not see your worth. He may just see you as he wants to see you. And that's dangerous, because that can make you dilute yourself for him. That can make you fit into his mode of you. And that can make you start to compromise who you really are and what you believe you deserve for what he wants to give you. Because you're lonely, because you're sad, because you don't think you deserve more, because you've never met a guy that can give you what you expect. Okay, I'll tell you something about me. I haven't met a guy that can give me what I expect, but I know he's out there. Okay, I've met a lot of guys and I've dated a lot of guys, and none of them were up to the standards that I set for relationships. There was one guy that was probably close. The only thing is he wasn't a fully God-fearing man. And that's one thing I'll never compromise on. You have to be a God-fearing man. You could have everything, be the best person, but if you're not God-fearing, it's an instant no. Immediately no. Immediately no. Because that's one thing I'm not going to compromise on that and then hope maybe later on he'll, but no. I'll wait for that separately then. You need to stop falling in love with his potential and fall in love with who he actually is, sis. Stop being deceived, okay? Don't be deceived by what they tell you they could become or what they tell you they could be. Believe who they are now. Okay, and decide, is this someone I want to be with? Because it's not guaranteed they will get to that potential. It's not guaranteed they'll get to that person they claim they want to be or you believe they can be. You can't change a man. You can only help him grow, but you can't change him. So you need to stop thinking that you deserve the bare minimum. You need to understand that you are a high value woman. A high value doesn't mean money. It means in assets, and assets could be your personality. You as yourself, you deserve a high caliber man. And high caliber does not mean a rich man. It means a man that will give you the world, a man that has his own morals, okay? A man that is accountable to God, a man that will treat you with respect, that will love on you, and that will not force you into situations that you're not ready for. I think it's important. You need to analyze the person you're with. Stop just falling head first because of how you feel. Feelings are fleeting. Just because you feel a certain type of way for a guy today doesn't mean you'll always feel like that. So you need to analyze who he really is and what he brings into your life. Is he bringing, like, how are you when you met him? Are you more motivated? Is he helping you move forward? Is he encouraging you? Does he bring more happiness into your life? Or is it the opposite? Are you feeling more insecure? Are you feeling a little bit more unsettled? Are you feeling as though you need to act a certain type of way? Like, you need to think, how do I feel when he comes into my life? And that's how you need to feel with everyone. Anyone that comes into your life, you need to ask, why were they sent at this time? Sometimes it's a blessing from God, but sometimes it's not. Not everything that looks like a blessing is from God. That could be the enemy trying to distract you from what you're really meant to be doing. So don't believe that just because something looks good, that is from God, okay? The enemy was trying to tell Jesus, if you just worship me, I'll give you everything. Meaning that the enemy is in possession of his own form of blessing. He can give you things, but what is the reason for him giving you those things? Because the enemy likes to give you things without process. God likes to give you a process, then give you the result. Meaning that you got to work on yourself and you got to understand who you are before you can accept a guy into your life. Because if you accept a guy into your life before you know your self-worth, then he may not treat you according to what you're really worth. You got to know who you are before you allow a guy to tell you who you are. Because when a guy comes into your life and he tells you who he thinks you are, because you know who you are, you're like, no honey, that's not me. Don't try it. It makes a guy know that you're serious and that you won't accept rubbish. You know, you got to stand on your own 2 feet and you got to make it clear that you will not accept the bare minimum. You will not accept less from a guy than you deserve. And stop feeling guilty for making your intentions clear. Just because you want a relationship and he doesn't, it doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with you. Just because you want a man and he doesn't want you, that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. That just means he ain't for you right now. And stop allowing your exes to come back into your life and dibble dabble and then leave. If you've cut someone off, cut them off for good. Set boundaries in your life for relationships, for men. Don't allow men to just come in and do what they want with you and leave. Don't allow men to just dictate to you what they want to do and then go. Always have your own mind. Always have your own ambitions. Always have your own life. But thank you for watching L Talk the Real Talk, my version of a TED Talk. If you like this video, please like, comment down below and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and turn on your post notifications so you never miss an upload. But I will see you in my next video. Bye. You and me tried to explain